Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Girls Frontline reaction. Today we have Convolutional Kernel. This is a new one from GhostFinal and Kinoko. I haven't heard any music from Girls Frontline in quite a while, and there have been a few comments over the past week or so that have been saying I should get to specifically this one. That makes sense since it's so relatively new, and I figure people are just interested in hearing me talk about it, potentially because I haven't heard anything from Girls Frontline in a while, or maybe just because the sequel came out and people are playing it a little bit more and maybe starting to realize how badass the music can be. I've heard a few songs from it and I've always enjoyed them, so I can't imagine, especially coming from GhostFinal, that this is going to be any different. So without further ado, let's go! Ooh. I actually really like that opening. That must be newer. I don't think I've seen that before. Not the sound I expected. Not the genre I expected, at least in the beginning. But we've only just begun, so... I love the finger style accents on the guitar in this. The bass line came in pretty hard. Where are we gonna go? Oh, hell yeah. What a great drum lead-in. A really crunchy snare. This is so washy. And then that ride is cutting through. Yo, GhostFinal, you need to tell me how you mix your drums. Give me a tutorial. This is so clean. Dude, I love this drum part. It's not the only thing I'm listening to, but man, that is tasty. God, those fill sections are insane. I'm so conflicted right now with this song. Dude. I'm conflicted because that was such a gorgeous song. It was so well written. But the message in it is so sad, bruh. I was not joking, by the way. GhostFinal, if you would please drop me a DM and teach me how to do drum mixing, because that was so crispy clean all the way through, dude. What an insane mix on just the drums. Everything else was brilliant as well. Everything cut through the perfect amount. But man, I gotta know how you do drum mixing. That was so clean, dude. Like, I assume that you're using samples and that does affect everything else, considering I have a room to record in. I don't know if you're using an actual kit recording or something like that, but you gotta teach me how you at least mix so I can at least work off it as a bass. That is just so good. That's some of the best drum mixing I've heard in recent memory or ever, to be honest with you. It's just so clean. But then also, like, the message of this song, like I said, being kind of depressing. It's like there's this hopeless yes no kind of going on. You can't tell if there is any hope, but they're definitely not stating like there is any, even if they would like there to be. It's this want, you know, like we want things to be better, but we know it can't be. And that's such a sad message to have, but sometimes that is how it is. And especially in a world like this that is so wrought with war, I would assume that it's just not exactly the easiest thing to ask or hope for after you see everything and everyone being removed, killed, etc. It's just a lot to take in. And I think the emotional beats of this song definitely help accent that a lot, especially that one section in the middle where like all the people disappeared on screen and there was that like shred in for that guitar solo, and the drums, I think the entire piece went to 6/4. That might have been the time signature. I've been trying to get better at those recently. I might be wrong. It makes you as the listener feel like you were put in a place that is incorrect, and that just messes with your equilibrium, having listened to a song that was completely on time up to that point and just throwing you off. And it's just like, hey, that's a reflection of the world we're in maybe, and it's trying to paint that picture clearer. So like while you're listening and then you hear something that sounds a little confusing, it's like, imagine a world feeling like that. You know, you were so confident until there was no return and everything got so messed up you couldn't figure out exactly where you were or how to get back to the start of it. So that's where odd time signature And that's where odd time signatures kind of act as this cool reflection of the world. I love it when songs do that for an emotional value in the song, instead of just changing it up for whatever reason and really having no seeming value to it. It just kind of happens. Songs like this, where it happens at a perfect point where you're like starting to understand what's going on in this world, and then they want to change your perspective because it was changed for them in the world, is such a cool concept. And I love that attention to detail in the composition here. GhostFinal doing an amazing job here. Of course, Kinoko doing the amazing vocal work here as well. Never hasn't, you know, like her voice is so clear every single time, and it always cuts through the mix perfectly. Like GhostFinal knows exactly how to balance the voice in the mix as well as every other instrument, like I said earlier, and her voice just kind of cuts. You know, it just has this quality to it that demands presence, which when you're trying to sing about a subject this heavy can do a lot for it. It just feels so much more impactful when the voice is reflecting the mood. It's one of those perfect pairings musically where like GhostFinal knows exactly what they want and what they're going for and how to achieve it, and then the people he chooses to work with are just exactly in that vein of sound. It's just knowing exactly what you want and then going out and making relationships with the people he knows that can make that happen, like the confidence in their work and being able to work with them in order to make this happen so phenomenally well is just so insane to me. Mostly because I'm really not that good at working with people myself, all things considered. So when I see other people doing it so masterfully and like just perfectly weaving together these tapestries of noise, it's just like, God, I wish I was this good at this, you know? It kind of makes me jealous, but in all of the best ways. It's something that GhostFinal does extremely well, is balancing this emotional swelling all the way through. And like I'd already talked about with that whole odd time signature thing, or I guess it's an even time signature if it is 6/4, but it still feels odd because you're counting more notes than you're kind of used to hearing in a standard time signature. So it just has that effect. Either way, people who can nail this type of emotional swelling and know exactly where to put movements in the song to make it feel so much more impactful and have that emotional backbone. This is a song that has amazing emotional pressure for anybody who's experienced this world and understands what it's like. I have seen some of the girls Frontline anime. Maybe not the best anime I've ever seen. I actually ended up dropping it a few episodes before the end just because it started to get a little bit too weird for me. But from what I understand, a lot of people aren't huge on the anime, so at least I'm not alone in that opinion. But overall, I have understood what this world is like, and I kind of understand where the song is coming from and have some general context there to put myself into the place of the players who have lived in this world for an extended time and have experienced all these relationships, and hearing this and seeing that response out of people and just knowing what they're going through, even if just a little bit, helps me feel out that song. And it's just a good context to have, all things considered, especially when I usually don't have that too much, since I don't really play the games I talk about on this channel, but I love their music and the energy and the amount of love and attention that goes into every detail. Even if you aren't a player, you can at least respect it from that perspective, and that's what I try to do here. But all in all, beautiful song. I'm gonna stop yapping about it because I'll end up going in circles here again. Another banger from GhostFinal. Did anybody expect anything else? I'm sure they didn't, because I sure as hell didn't. I expected a banger, and that's exactly what I received. So with that out of the way, thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to Girls Frontline stuff more often, by all means drop a comment down below and I will do my best to get to another one. I'm gonna be starting some changes on the channel this next year that I'll be getting into in a video soon. So if you're new to the channel, or you are a returning viewer and just checking out something from a new or maybe just less covered topic like this, and you want to see more of what I'm going to be doing, that video will be out pretty soon. So if you do want to see that and catch more videos from me, you know how to follow me and support me and all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!